Happy New Year from Bears Talk, presented by J. Brown Realtor. We are ready to go for our first show of 2024, and we got a full basketball slate for you today. Started off by the head coach for the men's basketball team in Everick, Sullivan. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
It's been a long time trying to get you on the show, so I'll just start with this. What have you assessed with your team in the first half of the season?
It's been an interesting go up until this point, just in terms of roster. Consistency. I think we started our first 5 games without our starting point guard. Jaquia's had a high ankle sprain that just didn't heal as quickly as we'd like. And now our last 7 games, we've probably been without arguably our most talented player in Chase Mebane. So a lot of things were built for one type of team, and we've had to adjust on the fly. And my guys did an incredible job of maintaining focus and staying optimistic, but it's been a little bit of a roller coaster in terms of consistency, but we're forging ahead.
You mentioned some of those names, 11 new faces on this team for this 2023-24 team. How well has this group gelled together?
We spent an enormous amount of time just getting to know each other and building a bond, and I think that's how we've withstood some of the inconsistency. So in terms of the chemistry piece off the floor, been very impressed by how they've come together as a unit. Basketball-wise, there's been times where they've shown they've trusted each other and believed in each other and was really ready to sacrifice. But then there's times in tight games where they're not sure who should take the last shot or what the responsibility is. And I think that comes and goes, and we continue to work on that and continue to make adjustments along the way.
You mentioned about the way this group has worked well together. It's been another masterclass by your team on the defensive side of the ball. Best in the South Atlantic Conference with 72.9 points per game. How well has this group bought into that mentality and how they've executed on the floor in conference play?
Well, I've been coaching a long time, and, defense is the one thing that you can control. It's very black and white, as you should say. It's about being in the right places and having the right mentality, and it's one of the denominators that can be controlled pretty much by, what you implement and what you work on daily, your DNA. So defensively, very impressed by the guys. Got to continue to get better, especially late in the games. We have to plug a hole in our 4 spot because we're not as big as we want to, which is kind of hurting our rebounding. So defensively is something that, that's been kind of our DNA over the last couple of years. And offensively is one of the things that you can't control. Sometimes if the ball goes in, it doesn't go. Are we taking the right type of shots? Are we able to play with the balance of playing inside out the way we wanted to initially? And now we got to get our shots a different type of way. We want to get to the free throw line a little bit more. So that's kind of the offense is a little bit different. There's some gray areas. You don't want to overcoach it. You don't want to mess with guys' confidence. You don't want to you're trying to let them work their way through that process without telling somebody, no, don't ever take that shot. Now, some guys in circumstances, you tell them don't take that shot, but otherwise, if they're capable, if that's the shot we want, you just got to continue to show them by film and go over it and work on it every day and tell them that you build confidence by the work you put in the gym.
Building the confidence also comes from some winning games and getting the results. Although the last little bit of stretch, it's been a rocky road for your team. You've lost 4 of your last 5, but some have been some really close games. So how close is this group to really turn those results around into some close victories?
We're extremely upset and disappointed by the outcome. There's no moral victories, of course, but we're right there. We're right there, and the guys understand that. And a couple shots go in, a couple bounces the right way. You come out with victory. So they're still upbeat. They're still optimistic. The one thing that you can control is your effort and your attitude. And I think both of those are at a high level. But we got guys. We got to have guys that play better. Our guards got to play better. We got to make shots. We timely shots in the right time of the game. So we just have to be better on the offensive end. Got to be more consistency within the group and individually. And we got to be able to sustain it. We just haven't been able to sustain a first half to the second half or, 4-minute segments. We got to be better at sustaining that. And that just comes with maybe a little bit of time or getting a break or two.
One of the guards you mentioned that have to step up has been Nas Tyson, one of the familiar faces on this team. He has career highs in points per game, and his free throw shooting has been on the mark so far this season. How well has Nas really transitioned more into that leadership role with this new group of players?
Well, Nas took on a lot last year and had to do a lot for us, and he's kind of back, with the loss of Chris Pius. He's kind of back into that role again, and I think he's learned a lot from his experiences last year. But you come to college and you want a lot of responsibility, and he's in a position where he has a lot of responsibility. He's got to not only score the ball, but now he's got to be a better facilitator, a better decision maker. We need that from him. He's capable of doing it, but he's not doing it on a consistent basis. So we're asking Nas to be better, continue to improve each and every day. And just you got to score for us, but also you got to make your teammates better. You got to make great decisions, put them in positions to be successful. And I think he's capable of doing it. We just need him to do it at a higher level.
So no midweek game this week for your team, but you have a big road test coming up against Lincoln Memorial. You were able to pull off the upset at home last year on the final home game of the 2022-23 season. How do you produce a similar result in their place this time?
We first off, we just got to have some great practices leading up to the game. It's very hard to win in this conference on the road. So they're very good at home, very talented. They score at a high rate, shoot the three at a very high level. So we're going to have our best defensive effort. And trying to keep them out of the paint and keep them from making threes will be a challenge. So we may have to figure out which route we're going to go in terms of prioritizing what's the most important approach to the game. But I think going into this game, after having you want to look at the game in segments. You want to get some consistency. And you really want to focus on yourself. You know what I mean? And the results will come. You can't be result driven. Got to continue the process of just being the best possible version of Lenoir-Rhyne that we can be on Saturday. And you do that by putting in a great effort on the practice court on Thursday and Friday. So that's where our focus is. Guys got to get in the gym, stay in the gym, and continue to just lock in. But I think the key to the game will be controlling the tempo. Like we did last year. We didn't let it get out of control. We played the game on our terms. We got to make some shots. You're going to have to score with a team that's scoring 90 a game. Sooner or later, the ball has to go in. You got to get quality shots. You got to knock them down.
And when you look at this season, we got 12 games left here of the slate. You mentioned some of the injuries that your team has had to overcome.
Yep.
But what's the message to your group right now? Hey, let's finish strong. We still have a month and a half left of league play, and we can still make a difference in this league.
Don't try to write the end of the story. Don't try to think about what's going to happen at the end. You just got to focus on the next game. That's got to be our mentality. Put our head down, run right into the storm. Don't look back. Just look at what's in front of you. And at the end of the day, that's when you figure out where you'll be sitting. So it's a long season. So there's a lot of games left. And, we're not the only team in this situation. There's a lot of teams trying to figure it out. And I've been doing it long enough. I've been in it long enough. You'd be surprised how the outcome. So our guys are optimistic. They're going to keep working. And, we got great fans. That's when you need your great fans to be by you when you're going through your toughest moments. And that's what Bear fans do. They're loyal. They're going to stay with you, keep pushing you forward. And that's the type of support we need. So we're just going to keep working.
Lenoir-Rhyne men's basketball back in action. 4 p.m. tip-off this Saturday, January 20th at Lincoln Memorial. You can tune in on WHKY. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Welcome back to Bears Talk, presented by J. Brown Realtor. We are now joined alongside by our next coach, the head women's basketball coach, Grahm Smith, here on the show. Coach, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, big win against Carson Newman, 62-60 result at home. It's a big-time victory to make it 7 straight wins in league play. Do you think that was the win of your season?
I think it will rank up there near the top as far as one of the wins of our season. We haven't beaten Carson Newman since I've been here on 4 tries, and even previously to that, it's been 4 tries, so 8 total times in a row we've lost to them. And so definitely a big win, I think, for us to be able to pull out a win against a solid team like that who has a history of success, not just in the conference but in the region, and who traditionally does extremely well. It's a big win, and we didn't even play our best basketball. We struggled in the fourth quarter and just struggled at times to put the ball in the hole. I thought we got a lot of great looks, but to not play our best basketball and to still be able to pull out a win and grind it out, play great defensively, hold them to 5 points in the fourth quarter. I think we did a lot of things well defensively, and that's one thing that we've talked about from day one is hanging our hats on defense. And if we can do that, we'll be able to win a lot of games. And Saturday was a great, just a great display of how great we can be defensively, and it was fantastic.
You mentioned played great defensive fourth quarter and got the win. That's really been the motto for this team. You've won 7 straight games after losing your SAC opener. And I know that was a tough start against Catawba, but how was this team able to turn around and say, all right, here we go. We got a good stretch ahead of us. We're going to build that confidence up, and look where you guys are right now, top of the SAC.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last time I was on the show, about heading into Emory and Henry, or our second conference game, and obviously we didn't start the way we wanted to within conference, losing at Catawba, but we knew it was just one game, and one game doesn't define your season, and so for us it was about staying the course, being resilient, and just taking it one day at a time, one practice at a time, one game at a time, and doing our best to improve every single day, and that's what we've done. We're not trying to look too far ahead, but just focus on the next day, and that's allowed us to kind of go on a streak. Like you said, winning 7 straight conference games, and I think 8 of our last 9. We're in a really good spot, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
One player that has been on the money this year has been Blakely Crooks. And the last time that we were on the show, she was able to cross over that 1,000 point threshold, but she's also having a remarkable season, 17 points per game. How is she really taking that step up here in the 2023-24 season?
Yeah, obviously she had a great year last year. I think kind of came out of nowhere, so to speak, and for her to be able to follow up this year with just the efficiency that she's been playing with on the offensive side of the ball. She's been extremely efficient offensively, putting the ball in the hole at a high rate, and everyone knows who she is. It's not like she can come out and surprise anyone anymore. Everyone in the conference knows exactly who she is. She's, I think, in the top 7 or 8 of the scoring in the conference, and so she's a tough player. She's put the work in. She works every single day. She's one player who doesn't really get rattled. She's confident in herself. Obviously, as a staff, we have confidence in her. Her teammates have confidence in her. And she's playing very confident, playing at a high level, and it's been fun to watch and fun to coach.
She's been playing at a high level, your team is playing at a high level, and a stat that really jumped out to me when looking at this team was you ranked 9th in all Division II and the best in the South Atlantic Conference with a plus 7.56 turnover margin. What makes this team so great on both sides of the ball?
We've got some experience, first of all. We've got experienced players. We've got a core group who've been playing together for quite some time now. So that helps as far as kind of being on the same page, knowing where everyone's going to be offensively. Just having the feel for each other and having that chemistry is huge. And I think, controlling the ball is one thing that we've talked about from day one is ball control and limiting turnovers, valuing possessions, passing up good shots for great shots. Obviously, we want to play fast, but at the same point in time, if we can't play fast, we're going to slow it down, we're going to execute. And I think just having that understanding of the offense and the philosophy that we have and buying into that has allowed us to have success on offense and obviously take care of the ball and do it at a high rate. So that's impressive. And if you want to win games, a lot of games have success, you have to take care of the ball and obviously play great defense. Those are 2 keys to victory for us at almost every single game.
A player that we've really seen step up on the stage this season has been Mikeeba Jones. She was here last year but only played 5 games. But this time around, she's 3rd in the team when it comes to points per game, 2nd on the team for rebounds per game. What does it help to have, that other big down low that helps out this team?
Yeah, we brought in Mikeeba last year as a grad transfer, and we expected her to play more of a role last year. Unfortunately, due to some injuries here and there, and just kind of falling behind early, she didn't quite get the opportunities that maybe she would have expected or that we would have hoped she would have had. But she did a great job just sticking with it and trusting in the process, being a great teammate, continuing to work day in and day out, and just make the team better. And obviously this year she stepped into a major role, kind of what we actually saw her doing last year. We would have hoped, but it didn't work out. But now she's doing it, and her leadership is fantastic. She's obviously been in school for quite some time now. She's a super grad transfer, so to speak, and she's done a great job just bringing it every single day. She practices so hard. I mean, she competes day in and day out, practices hard, plays hard on both sides of the ball, and just having that consistency from her as far as her efficiency, shooting the ball down low, being that threat, being able to step out to 15 feet at times, and also the 3-point line, and just be a hard-nosed player and bring that leadership and experience, and being a very efficient player as well. So she's been huge for us, and we're happy the way she's playing.
This group has struggled a little bit on the rebounding side of the ball this year. 12th in the conference for rebounds per game, 12th in the conference for offensive rebounds per game. What's your confidence like in this group that can turn around coming into the second half of the season and you can start collecting those boards?
I think, obviously we're playing, a modified zone this year, right? And so anytime that you play a zone, it's going to be tough to win the rebound battle night in and night out. I think that's one thing that we need to continue to put emphasis on is trying to win the rebound battle, eliminating teams' second chance opportunities, which will obviously give us more opportunities as well and limit theirs. And so we've got to focus on doing better there. It's going to be a challenge. We have to do a better job of getting involved, finding bodies in our area, and making that a primary focus, especially down the stretch. We've got 12 games left in the season as far as kind of regular season guaranteed games, and for us to continue to compete at a high level night in, night out, and to be able to win consistently, we've got to do better on the rebounds. And so we'll continue to emphasize it. I think our ladies have the right mentality. They understand its importance, and when we do it, we look really, really good. And so it's just doing it more consistently.
You mentioned Carson Newman, a team that you're finally able to get over the hump with. You play a team this Saturday, Lincoln Memorial, a team you've had some great success with, but they're building something out there in Harrogate, Tennessee. They're up there with the ranks with some of the best teams in the conference. How do you continue those winning ways and make it 8 straight conference wins?
Yeah, right now, obviously, Coach Devin's done a great job out there at LMU. He's been there for his 4th year, and they've got some consistency now. They've basically got the same group of players. They've had a couple here and there, but they're an experienced group. They've got chemistry together. They've got continuity together. And they've got that experience together. So they're playing really well right now. They've got good energy. They play hard defensively, take care of the ball, put the ball in the hole at a high rate. And so I think for us, it's just sticking to what we've been doing, right? Trusting in the process, taking it one game at a time, focusing on defense, taking care of the ball, and then having fun trying to get out on offense and score the ball. But it's going to be a challenge. We've had success against them. I think we've lost to them in the last 4 years, but going out to their place will be a tough road trip. And if we can get that one, I think they'll really put us in a good situation as far as kind of conference standings and making some more separation.
You mentioned 12 games left of the regular season. The success has been brewing for this team over its late, but we approach that second half of the season now. What's this message to the group to not get too focused on that rearview mirror and stay the course ahead?
Yeah, 12 games left, and I'll tell you what, we've got a really, really challenging 8-game stretch coming up. Obviously at LMU, we've got Anderson twice in that stretch, Catawba again, at Carson Newman, Wingate. So some really challenging teams coming up, and I think we're going to find out just exactly who we are over these next 8 games specifically. The good news is we'll have some more home games, which will be huge for us as far as having that comfortability playing in Shuford. But I think right now it's just focusing on one game at a time, one day at a time, getting better each and every day in practice. More about things that we can control, focusing on those things, areas that we need to improve upon and get better, but just not looking too far ahead, not looking too far in the rearview mirror, and just focusing on the present time.
Awesome. 2 p.m. tip-off on Saturday, January 20th. Lenoir-Rhyne will take on Lincoln Memorial, 2 of the top teams in the South Atlantic Conference. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.